Hey everybody, Draco the Juggler here. Welcome back. We're going to be learning some new stuff with the Diabolo today, including how to wrap and accelerate the Diabolo with wraps. Wrapping the Diabolo is important because it actually gets the Diabolo spinning a lot faster in a shorter amount of time. And the less time you spend spinning the Diabolo, the more time you're going to have to do tricks. Wrapping and unwrapping your Diabolo looks like this. There's two basic ways the string can be wrapped around the Diabolo. You can wrap the string around the back cup, or you can wrap the string around the front cup. And there's multiple ways to get in and out of those two basic wraps, which I'm going to cover in this video. But first, let's try to get into these wraps by using the Basic Tug Acceleration. From the Basic Tug Acceleration, make sure the Diabolo is balanced on the string and it's nice and lined up with your body. What you're going to do from here is you're going to lift up your non-dominant hand. My left hand goes up in this case because I use my right hand to spin, and I'm going to use my right hand to make a circle around the Diabolo and bring the hands back to the same height. What I just did is known as a right hand back wrap. You can get out of the wrap by going the opposite direction with a circle. You can also do this wrap by lifting up that same hand, pointing the stick towards yourself, and wrapping the front cup to get into a right hand front wrap. And vice versa, you can unwrap it to get out of it. You can also do the same exact thing with your left hand. In this case, lift up your right hand and wrap with your left, and you now have a left hand back wrap. You can also wrap the front to get a left hand front wrap. Now wait a second, I told you there was two basic wraps, but I showed you 4 different ways to get in and out of them. So there's actually 2 ways the string could be wrapped around the axle, and I showed you the right hand back wrap, the right hand front wrap, the left hand back wrap, and the left hand front wrap. The cool thing about this actually is the left hand front wrap becomes the same wrap around the axle as the right hand back wrap. So as does the right hand front wrap becomes the same as the left hand back wrap. One thing you're going to notice, if you do a right hand back wrap and unwrap it with the left hand on the back, you're going to get into a weird twist around the string, which you don't want to have happen. The same goes for the right hand front wrap. If you unwrap it with the left hand front wrap, you're going to get into that weird twist. So you want to make sure that the way you wrap it is the way you unwrap it. And also you can unwrap it the opposite. If you wrap it in the back, you can unwrap it in the front. So far I showed you how to wrap the Diabolo by moving the stick around the Diabolo. But you could also think of it another way. You could also move the Diabolo around the stick. You could push the Diabolo to the side, and it goes around the stick, and it ends up into the same type of wrap. If you push it to the right hand side, it'll end up to a right hand back wrap. If you push it to the left hand side, it'll end up to a left hand back wrap. If you point your hand inwards and push it to the right hand side, you could get into a right hand front wrap. And if you put your left hand inwards and push it to the side, you could get into a left hand front wrap. One thing you're going to notice is I'm using a single wrap when I wrap the Diabolo. You don't usually want to use more than one wrap because that will add a lot of friction onto the Diabolo, and if you're using a fixed axle or a smaller axle, you may run into this issue where the string binds around the axle and it gets all tangled up. This usually happens for regular yo-yos. You don't want it to happen for Diabolo because it's going to not let you do tricks. A bind can also occur from a single wrap. If you have too much friction on the string, an older string, or maybe if you cross this string in a way that it tangles on itself, you could also end up into a bind. If we look at it a little closer, this is how the string should be wrapped around the Diabolo when you're doing wraps. Notice how the string is nice and neat around the Diabolo. It doesn't cross over on itself. The second it crosses over on itself is when a bind can occur. So see how it crosses? You don't want that to cross. So now that we know how to get in and out of the basic wraps, let's use them to learn a different acceleration. We're going to learn how to do the tug acceleration with a wrap. Get into a right hand back wrap, and what you're going to do that's different than a regular tug, notice with the regular tug you're going to do small pulls. With a wrap around the Diabolo, you're going to do a nice big pull and a quicker drop down. What's happening here is as I pull up on the string gets tight and the Diabolo starts getting spin with the wrap around. But when you have it drop, you don't want to have friction or tension on the string. Here's a slow motion video that makes it a little easier to see how the string gets loose as it falls down, and it gets tight when I pull up. You might run into the binding issue if you don't make the string loose as the Diabolo falls. Alright, Thanks so much for watching. I hope you learned how to do the different types of wraps and unwraps and how to get your Diabolo spinning even faster. Watch me again next time, and good luck practicing.